Hello everyone, this is Charlotte. This is a podcast called Chatting in Cars, where I monologue a whole bunch of stuff pulled out of a baggie for random discussion. Sorry, I'm just backing up. Of course, you will hear beeping, you will hear kids screaming at this point, not in a bad way, just that they're going home from school and I'm driving through the teacher's car park. This is a podcast where I swear, yes. So if you are not comfortable with hearing people swearing, absolutely go find something else to listen to, because I'm not going to stop. Other than that, I do talk about some sensitive topics. This is definitely, some things I've gone through are quite sensitive. Some people are not ready to hear it. Some people find it offensive. Good. It means that you're thinking critically. The fact that you're brave enough to even address these topics interests me. Because a lot of weird shit's happened to me. And a lot of weird shit has happened to other people, so we should start looking at these things, see if we can't make it a better way to discuss and approach these things. Unfortunately, I have the flu, so of course my speaking capabilities and the ability to think right now is not working very well. But hopefully we can get through it. I've got a 35-minute drive, so alright. Anyway, my topic for today, or at least this drive home, because I've already done one today, is arrogance. Arrogance. Yes. I think we've all met an arrogant person. I have my own arrogance, probably, right? We've all got it. But it's arrogance to the point where it becomes detrimental to any kind of social skills or coexisting within a society, where it becomes a negative thing, arrogance. Possibly one of the most unattractive traits I've ever found in a person, including men. So I don't like arrogant guys. They seem to find it is, part of the toxic masculine caricature, so I don't know why they chose to do it. I think they mistake confidence for arrogance. You can be confident and not be arrogant. I don't know why people mix them up. Confidence is, knowing your worth and standing your ground and still being able to take advice from other people. Arrogance is saying, fuck you, I know everything and I'm going to do it my way, and I'm that great that I'm going to tell everyone that I'm doing it my way. If that makes sense. I could be wrong. Definitely jump in and correct me. I don't mind that. If you've got a different viewpoint, of course, add it. Because that's how the world goes round. We all join in our voices. We all come to some kind of interesting conclusion where everybody's got their interpreted version of reality. Sometimes there are commonalities, sometimes there are not. It's the differences that make us interesting and the commonalities that make us interesting. It's all interesting discussion. Anyway, with enough about inclusivity. Arrogance, very unattractive, not a virtue. I can't stand it. And you can tell when people are arrogant as well. Just by looking at them. And it's horrible because you're not supposed to be able to judge a book by its cover, but they have a certain smirk to them. I mean, I don't like arrogance. I've been surrounded by arrogant people quite a bit. I found these to be the most unattractive. I like the down-to-earth, nice people. They're rough as guts, but they're still not assholes. Some women might find it attractive because, again, they mistake arrogance for confidence. I don't. I find that it gets in the way of any real progress because you become so self-absorbed in this arrogance that you're not willing to actually negotiate or communicate or do anything constructive that might aid situations. So no, I don't like it. My ex-husband used to be incredibly arrogant. He was an overt narcissist. My granddad, Bob, used to be an overt narcissist. He's dead. The only thing I've found that it leads to is you end up leading a very lonely life because people will abandon you because they can't handle or can't tolerate that level of assholery. It doesn't get you anywhere, as far as I know, because, there's still a level of benevolence you have to have with other people. And nobody likes an over-pumped up arsehole, really. There tends to be a majority vote in humanity for the support for the underdog. So if you tend to be humble, people are more willing to, want to be your friend or hang around you or work with you or something like that. But arrogance will never really get you anywhere. Not to be mistaken for confidence. Some people are just confident. It's like, I know what I'm doing. I've done this enough times. This is where I'm getting my confidence from. Arrogance is like boasting about how fucking amazing you are. And some people, like, it just believe their own hype. They're a hero in their own lunchbox. I mean, one example I've seen politically is Trump. It's like, I've looked at the things he actually was doing. Excuse my coughing, I'm so sorry, I've got sick. I've got a sinus and everything going on. I'm hoping I'm not deafening you while doing this. But I was watching his campaign and there was not many valid facts or anything that he was bringing up. It was all sort of hot air. And I'm sitting there going, this is winning some people over, but then, you know, the proof's in the pudding. He didn't actually do anything constructive. In the amount of time he was in, it was all a show. I found it a very arrogant show. I don't think Obama was ever that arrogant. And I don't know whose political parties they belong to. I'm not clued up in all that political side of things. But I'm looking at them as people, or as the people they're trying to present themselves as. And I think Trump was going for confidence, but really he just came out as a big, loud gas bag. And he was very arrogant, and I'm sitting there going, I'm not surprised he didn't get assassinated or something, because he was just so full of shit. And I'm sorry if you support Trump, and, you know, he lost and now he's getting investigated and all this stuff, but the arrogant is unappealing. It's not attractive in any way. I wouldn't follow someone who's arrogant because it makes me think they're overconfident. It's not like natural confidence, it's fake confidence, to the point where it's detrimental for any kind of connection. I definitely wouldn't date anyone that's arrogant. I don't find that sexually or relationship-wise attractive. I love humble people. It's down-to-earth people because you know that they're good for it. They don't pump themselves up. If they can't do it, they tend to not put it on the table. That's my mindset as well. If I can't do it, I won't mention it. I don't want to get someone's hopes up to the point where I need to boost my own ego and come across as arrogant. You know, just a means to an ends kind of thing. Humility takes you a long way. It will take you a long way in life. I'm not saying that you go absolutely the other way. Don't underplay yourself. Don't try and, you know, and false humility. Oh, that gives me the shits too. It's like, it's fake. You can tell it's fake. It's like when people give to charity, but then they try and downplay it, but they've already pre-recorded it on their phone or something like that and put it on TikTok, some shit like that. It's like, we gave to charity, but, you know, we already filmed it and got all the money for that too, so it's like, that gives me the shits. Arrogance is not a good thing. It's not attractive. Sorry, I'm coughing. What can we do to counteract arrogance, honestly? Because life will take you down a notch. The universe will step in and kick your ass if you are being an arrogant, overconfident wanker. We found that before. I mean, what do they call it? Pride before the fall. The fall, not the fool. It's all the more humiliating to be pumping yourself up and then to watch yourself break down. You'll definitely learn humility. Better to build it up the other way. Better to be not confident, but then learn along the way and to build up your self-esteem. Because then you know your limits and you know what you're working at, and you can try a little bit hard, maybe push a little bit further. But to be assuming that you're so amazing without actually testing your mettle, that's where you're setting yourself up for a fall. That's hilarious though. My ex-husband used to be incredibly arrogant, as I said, and my ex-boyfriend used to be arrogant as well. Both of them now are not doing so well life-wise because they're finding people are abandoning them because they're just so big-headed and so far up their own arse that nobody wants to listen to them because everything's about how amazing they are. My ex-boyfriend used to sit in pubs and he'd tear people apart. Just people who wanted to talk to him. There's a bunch of old people. They used to get together and they used to have chats about topics. And I've sat in on a few of them. I don't contribute because I like watching, but at the same time, I've been watching the way he interacted with people. This is nasty fuck. I mean, you could tell that these people turned up just to have a conversation about anything. And sometimes it's more like the social interaction they want. Just to be able to connect with someone, even if it's in a pub over a pint. And I love that side of that business. I don't like all the rest of the shady shit that goes with pubs. But that human connection where you can just talk and you can find someone and you can learn some new stuff like that. But my ex-boyfriend would purposely go to the pub, start a conversation, and then rip into people. That level of arrogance I found incredibly unattractive. It disgusted me, to be honest, and I felt embarrassed to be near him because I'm like, this person has turned up, they just want to discuss something with you. They don't care who. But he saw it as like a fight. It was like a challenge. It's like, you can, if you want to go into debating and stuff, fair play, but you don't, no. You're meant to be relaxing in a scenario like that, just pub, just chatting. Nothing nasty. I mean, the blokes he was talking to weren't horrible to him at all. They were using their manners, and there was all, oh, do you mind if I sit here? And, oh, what would you like to talk about? And things like that. And he said, oh, this is lovely. I don't mind listening to these. They had better manners than him. I'm sitting there going, and the more I'm looking at my ex-boyfriend, the more I'm looking at these guys he's talking to and going, I wish I was with the other guys. This boyfriend's a prick. It's like, this is unattractive. My ex-husband used to use it as a means to pump up his business. He'd come across as this gym Nazi, and he was the same shape as Captain America. I'll give him that. He had a bit of the walk that went with the talk. You have to have some skills when it comes to personal trainings to look a particular way. You know, some knowledge of how to get there. But he pumped himself up so much. And to be honest, it was the only thing he had. He pumped that up so much, he came across so fucking arrogant that he lost clients over it. Because they were like, I can't stand you. Because he's nasty. He partially lost me over it because he was just so nasty with the way he would approach people in life. Mistaken, of course, for confidence. It's not confidence. It's confidence mixed with maybe bitterness, maybe anger, and nastiness, and a weird sense of superiority over others, in which he would torture other people to try and pump himself up further. Of course, he was an overt narc, and this is what they do to control and manipulate people, but just the nastiness of it, there's no need for it. It needs to be tempered, and of course, right now, it's being tempered because I'm pretty sure he's living in a van right now. So, and he's not doing so well financially because I was carrying him at the time. It was like I had the proper job and he had his, craptacular boot camps, which made fuck all. So, when he was relying on people to, that's what he wanted, that's great. He said at one point that he wanted to run boot camps where he could select the clients that were sort of worthy of the position in the boot camp. And I thought, well, first of all, that's not very inclusive and it's very arrogant and it's just nasty. So if you want to be there, it should be because you want to be there. I mean, and if you're willing to pay the money, I mean, even if you're not willing to pay the money, I think you should offer a discount. Some people not on the same level financially and all this. But he wanted this elitist kind of thing, and that was pure ego. That was his ego, thinking that he is, the best thing since sliced bread, and these people should want to hang out with him. They should want to train with him. It's ego. I mean, if you've got to the point where, you're genuinely one of those guys or girls that have worked their ass off to build a reputation as a good personal trainer, then sure, if your skills and your word of mouth and everything travels before you, and you can say, okay, I've got time for this much. I'm sorry, but I've only got this many positions. Then sure. But again, you don't get nasty with it. I mean, in the end, I'm pretty sure his business collapsed because he was just shit at it. Every time I was like, do you want some help working on that? Because I've got a degree in small business management. I said, do you want some help with that, with marketing and all that kind of stuff? And he was like, he was just arrogant with it. Didn't want to accept help, didn't want to, give up any kind of little control because he was so invested in pumping himself up through it. And eventually, I'm pretty sure it collapsed. I don't see how it could have kept afloat at all. Because he moved, we were south of the river, he moved north of the river, took all his clients with him, or what clients there were. And just, sorry, that was another point. And he assumed that they would carry on up there. And the money was, close to the city. Our city, Perth City, has a north and south river. The city's on the river, so north of the river is North Perth. We're South Perth. I stayed South Perth because there's some kind of weird competition between north and the south. Oh, there's northern Perth people. Oh yeah. As soon as you cross that river, you're just it's no man's land. And they hate us because we're all apparently broke. Homeless people down there. It's probably the same either side of the bloody river, honestly. But if you go both sides, I don't know. Apparently the North's got the money. I don't know. But yeah, I'm sure there's competition somewhere around the world where you are, which is similar. East versus West, North versus South, some shit like that. All it is creating a dichotomy through othering. We know what that is, come on. There's no need for it. Each group has its own strengths and weaknesses. Honestly, we should be forming alliances, god damn it. Alliances is where the real strength is. And the real liability, but we're not going there today. That's a different podcast. But the arrogance that went with it, and eventually I turned off, and even to the point, sexually, I can't do this. I really cannot stand that kind of shit. It was disgusting. I love humility. I love humble people. Not so much self-depreciating, where it's like a constant, oh, I'm not good enough, or things like that. People could admit where they are in life and know where they are in life. It's like, I know what I'm good at, I know what I'm not good at. It's like, to this day, I am shit at public speaking. I'm shit in just small public speaking, where it's, talking in front of a room. And yet I do it for a living because I'm a teacher, and I have to not only talk in front of people, I have to pull the whole class together and get them to do something they don't want to do in a place where I don't want to be. With not enough pay and resources and all this kind of business. And I know it's not perfect, but it does work, and we get going with it. But I don't get arrogant about it. I acknowledge it's part of my job, and I have to do it as a part piece of the whole program. But if I, strutted into the classroom and I said, I'm fabulous and everyone else doesn't matter, and I'm doing this, and you're all going to do what I say because I'm me, and you sit there and think, well, somebody's going to smack you down. And I'm going to giggle and laugh and point because, pride before a fall. I love those bits where people get, their ass handed to them because they're being arrogant assholes. It's like, how many fail videos have we got on YouTube where people do something dumb and you go, it's cruel, but it's just, and I love that. And I am a connoisseur of consequence, so I'm sitting there looking for these anomalies. It's like, yes, be a pumped up asshole. I want to see you get punished. Yes, because no one likes arrogance. It's like people might do it. People might do it inadvertently and not understand that they're doing it. I would hope that's the case, and people aren't purposely going out of their way to be jumped up pricks, I hope they're doing it in a subconscious way. They're just unaware. I've been told before that I'm condescending, and I'm sitting there going, first of all, I don't understand what you mean. You little people down there. But that was from my ex-boyfriend, who, this was like 20 years ago. And we were having a discussion about something. He said, you're being so condescending. I'm like, wait, hang on, explain that to me for a start, please. Because I didn't understand what I was doing that was condescending. It turned out I wasn't being condescending, he was being an asshole. Because I had someone else step in and explain it to both of us. I'm like, bitch. I love those third parties that enter the conversation. It's like, well, actually. I'm like, yes, I won. I don't have to win, but I won. Yeah, victories, small victories. And it didn't count for crap in the end because I can't even remember what the conversation was. But I was so stoked that someone else stepped in and cleared it up. I'm like, thank you. Sorry, I'm coughing again. I'm going to have to stop soon for some kind of medication. I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. Might just make a coffee. I seem to be running on caffeine cubes. Arrogance will not get you far. Everybody's waiting for the pride before the fall. Everybody loves it when some arrogant fuck fails. Best not to pump yourself up beforehand. I can't even imagine instances where arrogance would be useful. I mean, I love watching UFC fighters mouthing off at each other. My favorite fighter is Conor McGregor. He's amazing. But it's tongue-in-cheek, it's bullshit, and he knows it, but he plays on it. Muhammad Ali used to do the same arrogant pump-up thing, but we knew it was joking. Elvis used to do the same thing. He was all pumping himself up, but we all knew he was joking. Arrogance is allowed when it's comical, I think. I mean, Anthony Jeselnik comes across as, and he's a stand-up comedian, he's one of the most arrogant comedians I've ever seen, but he's fucking hilarious. And it's the arrogance that adds to the stick, He talks about some very dark topics. I suggest you go and Google him. He's quite funny, actually. And he takes it to the point where he takes his comedy and he sees how dark he can make it, and it goes in stages. So you'll say something, and then he'll go, "Ooh, that's not right." And then he'll take it one step further and you go, "Holy shit, I can't believe you said that." And then he'll keep going to see how long he can keep the audience with him. And I thought, I love my ass off. I'm sitting there going, this is getting pretty fucking dark. And anyone who's had a fucked up background is sitting there going, I know how dark this gets. Let's keep going. It's got one of those horrible graphic sense of humor. And all the PC people are sitting there going, well, this is not for me. And you're like, okay, it doesn't have to be. That's why you've got, active participation. You can get up and leave. You don't have to stay. No one's tied you down. You can leave. That's the cool thing about being an adult. Whereas if you're a child, you tend to have to stay in shit circumstances unless the third party intervenes. I didn't get the choice to leave as a child. I had to take my beatings. But, as an adult, I know I don't want to do that. I'm not going to pass that on. There's not information I find valuable. So no, I'm not going to inflict that on someone. My granddad Bob was an arrogant fuck. He was one of the most arrogant people. He was also a puppeteer, a master manipulator. He used money to control and manipulate my parents into doing his will, which is why I have a disdain for money now, actually. I cannot stand materialistic people. I can't stand them. They are just, to me, as soon as someone involves payment or money, it becomes like a dirty word, It's like, I understand money is a tool for growth. I can understand that. But when it becomes a means of control, I cannot stand it. I can't. Because I had him growing up. And he tortured my parents, and then my parents turned it on us. So it's like, you fucking asshole. And he was arrogant too. It was always a flash of the cash. It's like, oh, I bought you this. Oh, but I bought you this and this. And he only ever seemed to do it when he wanted, approval from one of his tarts. And he was a ladies' man, so he used to have tarts around all the time. He went through women. I'm sitting there going, how can a man this age go through this many women? I don't know, but they're all gross. At about the same age. So he'd be like 7-year-old. The last one he had, I think, was, she was Scottish, which I liked that she was Scottish, but I didn't like her. But she was just, gross. A troll. She was a troll. And it was clear, she was an ex-nurse, so she'd been in a hospice situation where, not for him, he was fine, but where she'd been looking after old men, and how can I put this gently? A lot of her money came from people she was friends with who died. So I don't know what the arrangement was there, but yeah, we know how she got what she got. So she made friends with my granddad Bob. Same situation. He wasn't dying, but they hung out together and did God knows graphically what, which is fucking gross from many standpoints. Me being his grandchild and him being incredibly old and a pervert. So the arrogance was just the tip of the iceberg with this asshole. So he would flash the cash, and apparently that you could buy affection that way. And I used to hate it because no, you can't buy my affection with cash. You absolutely can't. It's turned me right against people who want to show off with money. I can't do it because I associate people who try and buy love and affection with Bob, and Bob was a piece of shit. So I'm sorry if you're anyone out there is expecting me to be like a sugar baby or not. Besides the fact that I find other people funding me a direct insult in my capabilities. I'm going to find out like some years down the line, it's like, oh, by the way, you're a trust fund baby. I'm like, fuck off, I am. I can work. I know what I'm doing. You saying I can't do what I can do. It's like, no, we're just saying you got a bunch of free money. You're fine. Fuck off. You're calling me stupid. Why can't you just take the compliment and use the free stuff? It's like, never. You're saying I'm a moron. I'm not good with compliments either. I can't do that. I don't know what that is. It's like residual low self-esteem or something like that. Someone says, oh, you got nice hair. I'm like, oh my God, thank you. It's out of a bottle. He was like, oh my God, I love your jewelry. Thanks. Yes, I got too many. I've already been told off. It's always some downplaying comment. You don't mean to do it, but it's like a knee-jerk reaction. It's, I don't know what it is. It makes me cringe. I scream on the inside when people compliment me. Or it's a case of, yeah, what do you want? Nothing's ever free. I'm complimenting you. Here's the dagger in the back. It's like, yeah, what do you want, buddy? It's like guys are like, oh, I love the way you look. It's like, yeah, I'm not going to shag it. Fuck off. There's always some sleight of hand that we're missing, you know? It's horrible, isn't it? It's probably a trauma response somewhere down the line, but I cannot take a compliment. I don't believe it. My parents didn't emphasize aesthetics either, so when someone calls me pretty, I'm like, yeah, fuck off. Oh my god, you're so pretty. Fuck off. Fuck off, dude. I was raised a man. Would you call a man pretty? I don't know. Some men are pretty. I mean, look at Henry Cavill. Beautiful man. I don't know what else, but he's very pretty. And that's about it, I think. I don't know. I suppose you would have to get to know him. But I can't do just pretty. I can't do just pretty. There has to be something more. I can't just... Like, some guys are happy with their girlfriends being just, oh, she's hot and I just bang her and that's all she does and she doesn't have to do anything. I'm going, no. There has to be more to it than this. If I'm going to be stuck with this guy for the next, how many years? 40 years? There's got to be more than that. There's got to be more than looks. There's got to be, you know, fucking soul or something. You know, morals, definitely. I'm absolutely against my next boyfriend taking drugs, drinking excessively, or smoking. All of which have suddenly and very emphatically become the most unattractive things a man can do in my eyes. It's like, after living with someone who does all three, and they're an arrogant asshole, you sit there and think, right, now I'm deciding what I don't fucking want, because I've tolerated a whole bunch of shit that I shouldn't fucking have to. And I'm sitting there going, I'm fine being on my own if I can't find a guy that doesn't exhibit the right traits and behaviors. I'm going, you know what? I'm self-made. I'm good. I don't need anyone. I want someone. I don't need anyone. And that's the way it should be. I don't think anyone should need anyone. They want to be with someone because they love them, of course. But, you know, if you need them, then it's like, what do you need them for? And are you sure you can't just do it yourself? It's the arrogance that goes with it as well. Because as soon as they find out that you need them, you're in their pocket. Bob was like that. As soon as you borrowed money off him or anything like that, you're in his pocket. He's got you. And he will nag you and get you to do whatever he wants because he's just paid for your company and your attention. Again, one of the reasons I cannot be bought, because I will never be in fucking someone else's pocket again, ever. I hated it growing up. I hate it now. I hate it as an adult because it shows me that I can be bought and I'm, you know, just something to be objectified. It's like I wasn't his granddaughter. I was just someone to be exploited. I hate it. I used to have to go and clean his house, and some of the shit that went down in that fucking house, oh my god, there's a whole different podcast there, but he is for sure a dirty old man that thinks he can buy affection. Ah, Christ, he's dead now, of course, which is, you know, some people would mourn the loss of a granddad, but at the same time I'm looking at it going, you know what, I think the world just became a better place for his absence, you know, because at least then people aren't getting fucked over. Unless another one just got born and then, shit, the balance has been restored. Shit. But the arrogance that goes with it, I cannot find it attractive. Alright, I've just pulled up to my apartment. I'm going to go eat some corn, southern fried, spicy patties, I think. I think that's what I got out. It's either that or dino nuggies. I love those dino nuggies. Corn does them. It's Quorn. If you can find them, go and find them. They're amazing. Vegetarian, of course. I don't eat corpses. Only the corpses of my enemies. I suggest try and find ways to humble yourself. Remember your place in the environment in the world. It's not as easy as it seems. Everybody's still trying to fight to survive. So with that comes, you know, a certain level of confidence and arrogance. Because you're like, right, I've overcome this. Yes, I can do this. I'm amazing. But bearing in mind, as soon as you say that, somebody's going to take you down a peg. So just find the balance, okay? Pride before the fall, yes. Acknowledge your accomplishments. Ooh, my battery's just charged. Ooh, that's weird. Acknowledge your accomplishments. Don't go overly humble. Don't downgrade yourself. Because yes, even by this age, you would have achieved something. Definitely. If nothing more than just surviving disease and fucking pestilence. I know I came through a shitload of baptism of fire in my childhood. And then the real work started. You know, by the way, here's you are as an adult. You have to function. So, welcome to the world. You thought the first chunk was hard. You'll find a way to mediate, of course, between, you know, overconfidence and overhumility. There has to be a balance. We're all going to be good at something. We're all going to be bad at something. Everybody's got their own strengths. We're all unique. We're all coming from different life paths, different life chances. No one has got the exact same story. No one has got the exact. We're all like fingerprints. Our lives are like fingerprints. Everyone's come from a different experience, a different spot in time, a different context. No two people will be the same and have the same experiences. Even if they're twins, they've felt things differently. I want you to go out and have fun. It's Wednesday. Go and have a coffee or something like that. I know it's halfway through the week. We're going to chill. I'm going to stay chilled because I've taken my Ultivite, which is the relax and sleep. The purple pill. I'm going to make some food. And I will hopefully chat to you, not tomorrow or the next day, but on the weekend, because I'm going to have to double up on my podcasts. So, okay, take it easy. Remember, pride before the fall. We do not want to be arrogant assholes. Okay? Bye.